What's up, motherfuckers? Thrash God Sam here. Coming to you with an actual YouTube video for once. I know, weird. It is hot as balls, and I'm dying. Seeing as we're about halfway through the year, I wanted to take some time to go through the list that I've been making of every album I've listened to this year, and just give you some of my favorites so far. These are in no particular order. This isn't a ranking. You know, I'm starting to see where a lot of these albums will sit in my ranking just based on what's come out so far. But just for the record, this is just me running through the albums so far this year that I have really, really enjoyed. How's it going, everyone? I realized that there were a couple albums that I wanted to put on my favorites so far from this year that I just completely forgot about, but this is already like the third time I'm trying to record this video, so just fuck it, take it, run with it, mind your own goddamn business, and those albums will make it onto my final favorite albums of the year list. You can see them then. You can get all the tasty recommendations then. And before we get started, I want to do a little bit of a plug here. So, as some of you who follow me on TikTok probably know, I was recently featured on a compilation album called Blackened Hymns of Liberation, Volume 1, which is a charity compilation album to benefit the Bail Project. The compilation album features a brand new track from my raw black metal band Skvm called Death to Nazi Metal. It's fucking sick, and it's one I'm very proud of. There's the digital release, and there is like a pretty... There are a few of the physicals as well. They're cassettes. There are a few of those as well. And without further ado, let's get started on the list. To start this list off, we have Vual with their debut release, To End All Life. This is raw black metal with an anti-natalist theme, very anti-human, anti-life, misanthropic, if you will. Very fucking evil sounding, and while they are primarily a black metal band, they also have some crust punk influences, some sludge metal influences. There's some evil sounding riffs on here, some pounding drums, some like really intense vocal work. It's pretty impressive stuff overall. Just a really, really evil release. And I did, along with this cassette, get a patch which is on my black metal jacket, which might be a video I have coming up, along with a tour of my thrash metal vest once that one is complete. Vual are really interesting because, as I previously mentioned, they are an anti-natalist black metal band. If you're not familiar with anti-natalism, it's essentially the theory that all life is suffering, so let's just stop reproducing to stop suffering. And whether that's a viewpoint that you agree with or not, it's really interesting to see it kind of expressed and explored through music, because not a lot of music has explored that viewpoint. It's very much inspired by... Sorry, what's the fucking book called? This album is very much inspired by the Thomas Ligotti book, The Conspiracy Against the Human Race, which is kind of like, I would say, you know, one of like the founding piece of anti-natalist literature. And all in all, the music is really good. The message is interesting, even if you disagree with it. And I would just highly recommend it. The next album on the list is Revenant Marquis' Youth in Ribbons. Now, Revenant Marquis are about as raw as black metal gets, and I mean that. This sounds like it was recorded into a tape recorder, recorded into a phone, recorded back into a tape recorder. It's super fucking lo-fi, and as a result becomes incredibly atmospheric and as a result it is super lo-fi. This is not one I have in a physical version, although I would love to pick one up if I can find it. They sold out pretty quickly, so I might need to go to like the underground. We'll see what Discogs has. Revenant Marquis are a genuinely extreme black metal band. If you don't already have a background in black metal, I don't think this will be a release for you. It's incredibly evil, incredibly weird, and very experimental in its own way. The drums are incredibly loud in the mix, and the guitar riffs are underneath there, but it's not a very prominent piece. And on a number of songs, there's what sounds like a saxophone, which is so freaking weird and out there. But it's really interesting to listen to, and the music is fantastic. Again, like I've said, it is the most raw black metal, like, ever. It's some of the most raw black metal ever, I would say. And I just cannot recommend it enough. This is an album that came out in February, and, like, is still holding my attention. Like, I'm still actively listening to this album. Like, I throw it on all the fucking time. It's just fucking fantastic. It is incredibly raw, evil black metal, and I cannot recommend it enough. The next album on our list, Werewolves, The Dead Are Screaming. Werewolves are a death metal band with some grindcore influence, with some black metal influence, and they are so fucking good. This is another debut release, and I just want to say, Werewolves, fucking well done. This is a band that has their sound very well defined right off the bat. They definitely have their influences, but the music itself has its own identity, and it's just fucking awesome. They cover all kind of bases in terms of lyrical content. You know, they have tracks like Fountains of Bile, which is very clearly, you know, kind of gore and stuff like that. And then they have tracks like No More Heroes, which is about how, like, human beings are inherently flawed and it's wrong to idolize them, or at least that's the message I get, you know. All in all, this is awesome fucking death metal, death grind, black death, whatever you want to call it. The production is fucking filthy. The vocals are evil. The riffs are sick. The drumming's awesome. You know, it's just good stuff, man. Next up on our list is another one I don't have a physical edition for, but it is the new Wraith EP index cases. And I know that at the time I'm recording this, there is another, Wraith did a split with Bastardizer, but we're not talking about that because I think it kind of sucks and some of their worst music. But the demo, Index Cases, the Quarantine Sessions, is fucking fantastic. Wraith are a band that very clearly draw a lot of inspiration from Toxic Holocaust. They take thrash metal with a little bit of speed metal influence, add some black metal elements to it, and just make it awesome. And I really feel like with their last album, Absolute Power, and this EP, Wraith have really kind of carved out a niche for themselves, developed their own style, developed their own image, and I love it. This EP is 4 tracks, and the production is filthy, the drumming is sick. I just want to say, Wraith utilizes their bassist way better than most other thrash bands. Like, it's just fucking awesome, honestly. The production is pretty filthy, but I'm really into that, you know. I like that sound, I like that style. I just think it's fucking great. This EP is just fucking incredible, and I cannot recommend it enough. This is easily one of my, like, this is going in my top releases of the year. Next up, we have 2 death metal demos that I'm going to talk about at the same time, because I kind of like them both for similar or the same reasons, and they are Conjureth, Foul Formations, and Fleshrot's 2020 demo. These are 2 seriously filthy old-school death metal demos. The Fleshrot demo is 2 songs with an intro and an outro track, and the Conjureth demo is 4 tracks in total. These are both really nasty, you know, filthy production, nutty guttural vocals, some good riffs in there. It's everything you want from a damn fucking good death metal demo, and I cannot recommend them enough. I would say overall, Fleshrot is a little bit filthier, you know, a little bit more, the production's a little bit worse on this one, but in a way that works. And Conjureth is more technical, so, you know, whichever one of those piques your fancy a little bit better, that's the one I say you can go for. Or listen to both, because they're both good. Really, please, listen to both. They're both good. Next up is Throne of Iron, Adventure 1. Throne of Iron are an old-school heavy metal band with a really fun, charming D&D theme to them. You know, their music, like this album, follows an entire campaign, and everything they do is really kind of goofy, but really, really enjoyable. Most of the musicians are not the most technically proficient, but I actually think that works to their favor. It sounds like a group of friends drunkenly singing along to their D&D campaign more than it does this really intense, technical composition. It's just fun and goofy and, enjoyable in that way. And I think that's fine. I think that's fucking great. I think we should have more stuff like that, where there's so much passion put in, even if there isn't the most technical skill. I think that's fucking fine. I'm going on a rant no one cares about again. Next up, we have Raider, Guardian of Fire. Now, Raider are a Canadian thrash metal band, who put out an EP a couple years back, which I wasn't that into. Urge to Kill, I believe it was called. Didn't really catch my attention that much, although I may go back and revisit it after listening to this album, because this is awesome. There's some sick riffs going on under here, awesome drumming, good bass work, incredible vocals, these kind of nasty, guttural vocals. There's clearly some death metal influence, despite definitely being a thrash metal act, and I fucking love it. It's just so good, and I cannot recommend it enough. I did end up buying the merch bundle for this with the poster and the shirt, and I think you've seen both over on TikTok if you're following me there. I just can't recommend this album enough. It's just really good, and I'm fucking hyped. Next up, we got Raspberry Bulbs, Before the Age of Mirrors. Now, this is kind of a weird one to have on this list, because this is a punk band that draws a lot of inspiration from black metal, but is very, very much a punk band. Y'all know what it is. Fun riffs, kind of simple, not overly technical, but still enjoyable. Some lo-fi production, cool vocals, different layered vocals, which I think are really neat, and it's just good, man. Check out Raspberry Bulbs. Honestly, I think they're pretty criminally underrated. They have a lot of artistic merit, and they're just really, really good. Go check out Raspberry Bulbs. Next up, we have another EP from Wacko, Demoralization. Again, this is punk stuff. It's fast, it's angry, it's gonna spit in your face. Y'all know the deal. I don't really feel like this needs that much explanation, because it is pretty straight punk stuff, but it's good, and I like it a lot. Next up, we have Fasad with The End. Fasad are a local band to up here in Portland. They play Blackened Crust. They have fast riffs, pounding drums, evil vocals, the same shit I've been saying non-fucking stop for the entirety of this recording. But they're really good. And they're a local band, which, underground shit. It's cool. Go give it a listen. Uprising 2. Uprising. Now, if you have been involved in the anti-fascist or red anarchist black metal scene for a while now, not even for a while, just for a bit now, you've probably heard of Uprising. And while I wasn't huge on their first album, this second album is awesome. Seriously, I'm really, really into this. Tracks like There's No Such Thing as Hope just really fucking pump you up. A Lesson in Basic Human Empathy is fantastic as well. This is another band that will be making an appearance on my black metal jacket, which I'm so fucking hyped about. And God, I miss winter. It is too hot. I am dying. I am suffering. Fuck. Up next, you know what it is. It's another one I actually have a physical copy for, and it is Xibalba, Años en Infierno. Xibalba are a really fucking heavy band that fuse death metal with hardcore without sounding like deathcore, and it's really good, and it's fucking chunky. It's like, it sounds a lot like if you took Slam and dialed it back some. You kept that percussiveness, and you kept the song being mostly breakdowns, but didn't have the completely unintelligible vocals of Slam, although they're still deep and guttural, which is awesome, and I'm super into it. Xibalba are a band I need to explore some more because this is the first release of theirs that I've listened to, and I'm so freaking into it. It's so good. You need to fucking check out Xibalba if you haven't. Next up, we got another one from the thrash world. Reactory, Collapse to Come. German thrashers Reactory. They're good. They kick ass. They're fucking great. I like them. You like them. I would have had their LP in my hands, but alas, Germany is several levels of locked down right now, and they can't get anything out. This album reminds me a lot of their first album, High on Radiation, which I'm very happy for because I didn't really like Heavy as much. It was okay, but I thought there was a lot they could have done that they didn't, and here they have just come through in spades. Songs like Speedboat Piracy, Drone Commander, and the closing track, Enemy, are all fantastic. Enemy specifically I want to give a shout out to because it kind of reminds me of like a Megadeth track, having like, you know, that kind of swing and like bounciness to it that a lot of like Peace Cells era Megadeth has, and I think it's just really great. There's a lot of really fun, kind of somewhat technical riffs on there, but mostly just groovy, bouncy, fun, good thrash riffs. Y'all know what you like. There is also clearly some inspiration from Sodom and Slayer on here, because of course there is. It's a fucking thrash band. What are you expecting? The last full length on our list, Kvaen, The Funeral Pyre. This is black metal that borders on black thrash, but doesn't quite get there. It's fast, it's riff heavy, it's haunting at times. It's fast, it's riff heavy, it's angry, it's aggressive, it's harsh, and it's just so good. There's fucking breakdowns on it, there's soloing. It's something I want to see live. It is something I want to mosh to. It is something I want to just fucking experience. Because it's good. Kvaen is good. This album is good. I cannot wait to see what they have next. And that would be where this list ended if I didn't have a couple of singles I wanted to shout out and give just a couple pieces of info on. Exhorder, The Man That Never Was. I was a little hesitant about this track at first because I thought the intro was a little generic, and I did also learn that this is the last track Exhorder will be doing with Vinny Labella, which is super fucking worrying to me because Vinny Labella is like the heart and soul of Exhorder. That man practically fucking is Exhorder. And while I trust Marzi Montazeri's riffing ability, and I think he's got mad fucking chops as a guitar player, I'm really, really anxious to see what happens next, because Exhorder is like my favorite band, and I really, really want them to be good, but I was also a huge fucking fan of Vinny Labella. All in all, this track is good. The riffs are good. The solo kicks fucking ass, because of course it does. I'm going to miss Vinny so fucking goddamn much. Bleed the Victim. The Perception of Pain and Knowledge. This is a new track from melodic thrash metal act Bleed the Victim. It's simple, it's good, it's pretty straightforward thrash. If you like it, you'll like it. If you don't, you probably won't. The only thing I would say is that the vocals are mixed really weirdly. They come across sounding really tinny, which is strange. Like they sound like black metal vocals almost, which is weird. I don't know how I feel about that, but I guess it works all right. All in all, though, the track is worth a listen. Ghoul, the Necronomicon. Ghoul sounds like they are very much returning to their like earlier sound on this track on albums like We Came for the Dead, with Fermenter mostly being on vocals, you know, like the super fucking low gnarly ones, heavy riffs. It's just really good. Ghoul are a band that just do so much and create so much art that it's hard not to be impressed by them. Honestly, like, there's their music, there's the comic book they made, there's their YouTube channel full of skets and I love it. I've been really, really obsessed with Ghoul recently because they're just so goddamn good. This new single is great. I love their old school sound. I love their newer sound. Everything Ghoul does, I'm just so sucked up by, and I'm so hyped for a new album. If it's happening, I'm ready. Gutvoid, Forbidden City Beneath the Crypt. Gutvoid are a band that, if you like me, loved sucking the dick of Blood Incantation's last release, you'll probably get into. It is death metal with some, like, very, spacey sounding stuff, kind of psychedelic in some ways, very, very technical death metal. A lot of the reviews of it called it the thinking man's metal, which I guess technically means prog fans like it, so I should hate it, but I don't, because it's good. It's good fucking death metal. It's very similar to what Gutvoid was doing on their last album, which, if you listen to it, I love you. I loved that album. It was good. It was so fucking good. And this single seems to be kind of continuing that same style and sound, and I like it. I'm very much okay with them just continuing it. Axeslasher, the drive in Oath. Axeslasher are like the definitive pizza thrash band, and I fucking love it. It's so good. This track is awesome. It's just them doing what they do best. Distorted guitars, shredding, riffs, nasty vocals. Y'all know it's good. Dustbolt Chaos Possession. Fuck yes, crossover thrash band Dustbolt are coming through with another awesome track. I really, really enjoyed their last full-length album, and this track is good. Crossover thrash is good, man. Crossover thrash is just fucking good. Korpiklaani, Beer Kill Kill, featuring Zetro. The first of many redone versions of Beer by Korpiklaani. Personally, the Zetro version is my favorite. I'd say the others are worth checking out as well, but Beer Kill Kill is just fucking awesome. It is good, like folk metal, and of course it's Zet on vocals. The man just does not fucking stop. He's crazy good, one of my biggest inspirations, and to hear him work with Korpiklaani is really weird, but kind of works. They make it work, and I like it a lot. And that is going to be my favorite albums so far from 2020. Obviously, some of these may change, some of these might not appear on my final list, and there will be things that appear on my final list that weren't here because I hadn't listened to them yet. Once again, I would like to ask you to go check out the Blackened Hymns of Liberation compilation album. I love you, love you, love you. I appreciate you. I love the support. Thank you so much. And you can go check out my solo band as well, Skvm. I am working on a new release for that, which should be coming out when I'm done with it. Definitely have a plan for how I'm gonna do that. And if you're not already following me on here or over on TikTok, follow me on both. I post a little bit more on TikTok, but I post better stuff on here. And I think that's pretty much all I got for you guys today. Take care, stay thrash, I'll talk to you soon.